So today we'll be solving the question path crossing. Let us go through the problem first. Given a string path where path of I is NSEW, each representing moving one unit north, south, east or west respectively, you start at the origin on a 2D plane and walk on the path specified by the path. Return true if the path crosses itself at any point, or else we return a false, right? So what does the question state is that we have a path named string wherein it has some directions, that is north, south, east and west, and we have to move accordingly on this particular grid. And at any time if we are seeing that we have already crossed that particular point, then we need to return a true, else we need to return a false. Okay, so let us try to understand the given examples. So before that, this is the direction picture. So this direction is north, south, east and west. Okay, so the very first example is NES. So the user first is at 0 comma 0, so it moves to north direction, that is 0 comma 1, right? If you imagine this in a grid, so from 0 comma 0, if you go towards one unit towards north, it is going to 0 comma 1, right? So again, uh, it is moving to east, so this is the east direction. So if you imagine a grid of 1 units, if you go from this 0 comma 1 to towards the east, it will be 1 comma 1, and then again it is moving to south. So this is the final point that he is at, and we can see that it is not never crossing a single point that has already been visited, right? So in this case we can return a false, that is it is not overlapping any point in the grid. So again, if we see this particular example, we have NESWW. All right, so it starts from 0 comma 0 and it moves to north. Okay, so that is 0 comma 1. Again it is moving to east, so we move to 1 comma 1, and then south, then we come back to 1 comma 0, and then west, right? So if we go to west, now we can see that the point is 0 comma 0, which has already been visited, right? So in this case we can say that this is true, that we are overlapping a point which has already been visited. So as you can see from the picture itself, whenever we are moving to so we have the axis as x comma y, right? X comma y is the axis. The coordinate that we have, sorry, the coordinate which we have is x comma y. Every time we are moving to north, okay, we will be doing x y plus plus, right? Y plus plus. Why? Because we are moving one step in the north side, so we'll be doing y plus plus. If whenever we have east, we can do the x plus plus. That is, if you imagine this in a grid, you will easily get it how to change the coordinates, right? So this is the whole point, this is the whole logic behind this problem. What we'll be doing is we will have a set, and we will keep storing these particular coordinates into it. Okay, so whenever we have the problems such as overlapping or any unique coordinates or anything that we have to store, elements has to be stored, we can use something known as a map or set, through which we can easily track which all elements have already been visited, right? So we will take these coordinates and store it in a set. Then what we will do is we'll be storing these in the form of a string, right? Because it is easier. Why do you have to complex it with the pair also? But you can consider that as well. So we will be storing these coordinates in a form of string, and every time I am visiting a particular new coordinate, I can check that if it is already there in my set, I can say that it is being visited, and I can return a true, else we can return a false, right? So I hope you're clear with this. Let us go through the code once. So this is the code that we have. We take a set of string st and x and y coordinates that is presently at 0 comma 0. So this is where the particular person is starting its journey from, and then we have a set. So we insert 0 comma 0 into our set, and we will go through the path. Every time I have a north, we can do y plus plus. That is, we can see here we have 0 comma 0, and every the first thing is north, right? So I'm doing y plus plus, I'm incrementing the y coordinate. So these are the changes in the direction. You can easily get it if you solve 2 to 3 problems like this in a grid. And then we are storing that the coordinates into a string, right? So x and y, we are adding it, and storing it into a string, and we'll be finding if that particular string or that particular coordinate has already been visited, right? So if st.find of str is not equal to st.n, so we can just return true that yes, if it is overlapping or if it is already present in my set, that means it has already been visited, right? Else we can just insert it, and at the end we can return false, that no condition of occurring of a single element again has occurred, right? So I hope you're clear with this. Thank you.